I don't even know if this thing is broadcasting or not. Is there anybody out there? No one? So far, I got 0 people watching, 0 thumbs up. At least I'm consistent. I'm not even sure if we're getting anything going out because the Wi-Fi signal, the cell signal, there is no Wi-Fi, by the way. And the cell signal has been really iffy. It's been really iffy. So I don't even know if we're going out. Because I don't see it on here. Usually it pops up on here. And I ain't seeing it. Let's see. No, I do see it on my iPad. So there's that. Where is everybody? Usually a couple people will jump in there. The only one on is me. So, while I wait for people to come on in, I'm gonna get some jelly for my toast. How's that? How do you like that? How do you like them? How do you like them cookies? How do you like them bananas? Speaking of bananas, I had bananas on my cereal this morning. I love it. I love bananas on my Cheerios, basically. See, I had Cheerios. This is the Thursday morning crash and burn because this show is crashing and it's burning. It's a crash and burn kind of day. It's the kind of day where no one shows up. Basically, in a nutshell. Oh, yeah. It's the kind of day where you just say, oh, well, guess that's just the way it goes. I guess my live streaming just might be coming to an end. Because it's really no fun to live stream if no one watches. You know what I mean? Really kind of takes the fun out of it. You know, I gotta have at least a few people in here. Who doesn't want to watch a guy eat toast? You know what I mean? Who doesn't want to? Apparently everyone doesn't want to watch that. But, well, anyhow, cheers. I guess everyone's watching Tony Michaels or Stuttering John, who I like less and less every time I look at him. I can kind of see why He seems like the kind of guy who wears out his welcome wherever he goes. Whether it was Howard Stern or whether it was The Tonight Show. He has sort of a grating. He can sort of be grating on your nerves, I think. But not old Trucker John here. I'm mellow as shit. Is it shit mellow? It can be, I guess. I don't know. I'm just doing a one-man show. And by one man, I mean one person watching, and that one person is me. I guess there's just a whole lot going on out here in the world of live streaming. That's just way more interesting, of course. I mean, you know. This is a crash and burn. I think I for once, I think I titled it, I aptly titled the show because I think we're crashing and burning here. Looks like there might be, someone else might be in there. If you're lurking, just say hi, you know, don't be shy. Say hi, give me a thumbs up. If you're new to the show, let me know how you heard about the show. You probably just saw it in your feed and thought, what's this loser doing? Let me check out this loser. But anyhow, thanks for being here. And like I said, say something in the chat, and we could have a conversation. Maybe, maybe not. Because you left, looks like. So I'm just looking at the competition here. What's live right now? We got Honda Civic Maintenance from White T-Shirt Media. They got 72 people over there watching, motherfuckers. Here's Hard Rock, Guns N' Roses, Nirvana, Queen, Led Zeppelin. Okay, so 137 watching that masterpiece. I really can't blame them. I mean, I'd rather watch that too. So, sleep music, sleeping music for deep sleeping, has 5,000 people watching that. And then there's the best of classic country songs of all time, 103 watching that. So that's what I'm up against, apparently. Native Kautsa is on. 2 are watching. So we're in a tie right now. We're in a tie. I'm in a tie with Native Kautsa right now. She has 2 watching. I have 2 watching. But sadly, the 2 watching are me, probably, I think. There's another Trucker John, has a Trucker John show. 17 minutes ago, I guess he's off now, but he had 7 views. Maybe this is just a bad day for everyone. For viewers, for viewing. I don't know. It all seems a little low, if you ask me. What's going on today? Today's Thursday, right? July 27th. It's 11:19 a.m. here in the Pacific time zone. And I haven't been outside. Maybe the world's coming to an end. I don't know. Maybe that's why no one's watching anything, because the world's coming to an end. So here's some other thing. Okay, so Stuttering John is on right now. He's got some ugly fat dude in his split screen with 382 people are watching Stuttering John right now. Tom Hartman's on. He's got 1,900 watching, which isn't really all that impressive for a guy who has a national radio show and has been on for 20 years. He only has 1,900. Here's the thing from Tesla Official. A new era for Tesla's Model 3 live reveal with Elon Musk. They have 7,600 watching. Again, for Tesla and Elon Musk, it seems like I thought there would be like 1 million people watching. You know, there's only 7,600 watching. So no, I don't feel so bad. I only have one person watching, one lurker. Looks like I got one lurker. Say hi if you want to. Unless you did chat and I missed you. Oh wait, no, WW. Okay. Hey John, not to an end, just hot. And just done Tony and Gabe. I'm not lurking. All right. Well, I didn't see the chat because, like I say, the chat just disappears. I'm just looking at my competition here. Okay, so I guess Tony and Gabe were my competition. Scotty Kilmore. Apparently, he's the guy that does. He's a weirdo that does these car talk things. He's got 1,100 watching. Ride Along Live from Marietta, Florida to Texas. This is a truck driver who does ride-alongs. He's got 149 watching. Big Rig Travels, another trucker who does like a dash cam as he's driving live, has 664 motherfuckers watching him. They just get mesmerized. People just get mesmerized by watching a truck, just a dash cam view going down a highway. Apparently, because that guy's been on for years and has quite a few followers. People love that shit, man. The best of Norway's railway cab views. That has 168 people watching. Looks like we got 3 people now. Another lurker, perhaps. I don't see Jolie. I don't know if she must be busy, maybe with some family stuff. Let's see. There's Soft Rock. Eric Clapton, Michael Bolton, Bee Gees. There's 588 watching that. Here is TDR Live, Mitch McConnell suffers incident on live TV, the damage report. They have 4,300 people on the damage report watching. Wow. My hat's off to you, damage report. 4,300. Oversight Video Hearing Incredible Testimony WorldCam has 2,100 people watching. Here's pop-up live stream Egg Live from Beach. Oh, this is from Pattaya Beach. Oh, the pub. They have 8 people watching that. Launchpad Live from Spaceflight Now has 118 people watching. Diablo 4, it's a game. Heidi Lavon, she has 13 people watching her play that game. Live NBC, the NBC News, they have 8,200 people watching. Here's Santa Fe Junction, Kansas City, Missouri, USA. Virtual Rail Fan has 32 people watching a bridge that has the potential of a train going over it. The train's, I mean, I don't know if it's, I could go, let's see. I'm going live. I'm watching this live feed of the Santa Fe Junction. It's basically a bridge going over a dry river, and there's no train going over it. So people are just watching this shot in hopes of seeing a train. They got 37. That's more interesting, even, probably. Hey, Liberal Dan, Conjunction Junction, what's your function? Hey, Liberal Dan, thanks for stopping by. Watching this fascinating content. I'm just checking out my competition here on the live streams. We got 30. There's 36 people watching this train track with no train. They're just waiting there with anticipation, with bated breath. When's the train gonna come? When's the train gonna come? 37 people. 30. Oh, they're down, someone left. They're down to 36 people watching. Liberty says, how many subs does that channel have? 433,000, Dan. Virtual Rel Fan has 433,000 subscribers to watch a train track. That's amazing. And then you got a guy like Liberal Dan, who Liberal Dan has content, has intellect. Liberal Dan is a guy who makes makes you think about all these issues. I mean, I put Liberal Dan up there with the best of them. And look, and he's got 620 something subscribers, and then you see the railroad fans here have 433,000. It just makes you shake your head, right? Like, what the hell, man? What does it take to get the word out? 433,000 subscribers for Virtual Rel Fan. And it's all just looking at trains, and that's fine. I mean, hey, I'm not going to yuck anybody's yum, but I mean, send some love Liberal Dan's way, man. He's got a great show, and Liberal Dan, you really should have 433 subscribers. I really mean that. Me, on the other hand, I've got 655, and I feel very fortunate just to have that. I'm lucky I don't just have two. That would be me and my other fake account. Or not fake account. My accounts aren't fake. They're real. But, I mean, in all seriousness, I should only have like 3 followers or something. But Liberal Dan, I think Liberal Dan should have 433,000. But we're working on it. We'll get it. We'll get you there, Dan, someday. Just looking at these, there's this H3 podcast. They're talking about Mitch McConnell. They've got 29,000 watching. Ben Shapiro murders Barbie. This is Vaush. I don't know what Vaush is. They have 4,100 watching presently. Just on and on and on. The competition. So anyway, I guess I'll get into today's show. I don't know. Liberal says, Vaush, I think, is problematic but left. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never heard of it. I just was scrolling through here at what's live right now. And I'm still blown away about the train and stuff. They have 433,000 subscribers. I should just do that. I should just set up a camera next to a train track, get my 433,000, and then all of a sudden I come in with hard-hitting Trucker John, progressive, left-wing political viewpoints as the train goes by. I think maybe that'll work. I don't know. Maybe that's what I should do. I need to find a train track. There is a train track here that runs down along the 15 here. I should set up a camera up there. Just call it, I don't know, Las Vegas train. I mean, this one's called Santa Fe Junction, Kansas City, Missouri. I could have the Las Vegas Junction, Las Vegas, Nevada. All right, enough of my jealousy of the train folks. But they are out there. There are train lovers. I've spoken with a few of them. Like one was a truck driver. I was at it was a truck parking lot that we had for Schneider up in by Stockton, up in was it Lathrop or French Camp or whatever it is. And there was a train that ran right by this parking lot. And the parking lot, that's where you park and you sleep in your truck. And I was annoyed by the train because it would come by and it was very loud and noisy. And I remember, I just happened to see another truck driver and we started a conversation. And he was saying how he loves to watch the trains and he was waiting for that train to come by and he was going to watch it. And I'm just thinking to myself, really? I mean, that's really a thing where people just love to watch trains? I mean, I get it. I like, I used to have a train set when I was a kid in a train track, and I would set it up, and I'd make a little town, and I guess that's kind of an extension of that. People, just love the little trains and stuff. I don't know. I like I said, I shouldn't be yucking anybody's yum here, but if that's your thing, but I'm gonna have to work that angle, and maybe make my own little train cam, and then I will fool people. Onto my page. I will do it by hook or by crook. Hey, by all means, whatever, all means necessary or whatever, I will make a train cam just to get people to my channel. Maybe, I don't know. But anyhow, so just looking at the chat, looking at my chat. So nobody else. Excuse me while I throw my table. So he says, got kicked out of Scenic Railroad. Too many wisecracks. Wes, you manage to get yourself kicked out of everywhere you go, don't you? You son of a gun, you. Liberal Dan says, okay, I read that one already. W says, there is usually gentle music. Oh, okay. Liberal Dan says, my oldest son used to be more obsessed with trains than he is now, but I think he still enjoys them. I like a nice train set. Like if you go to, there are places, there was a restaurant up in Oregon that has since, I think, closed down, unfortunately. But I used to love going in there because they had this train track that ran around the entire restaurant. And it was like they had a track that was kind of up high and it went down to the end. And then they had a big thing where it would swirl down. In fact, I have a video of it in there. And it would swirl down and then it would go down to this lower thing and go right by the booth along the edge of the restaurant. So the train would come right by your table, and then it went down, and then they had this other sort of, what do you call it, scene, panoramic, not panoramic, but this, whatever they call the little things when they actually had like a mountain with trees, and I think there was some buildings they had, and it kind of went around that, and it went back up again, and then it went up where they had the track up, almost to the ceiling, kind of like, and went around the back part of the restaurant, and then came back around, and it was really cool, and I really liked it. It was fun. It was just a fun thing. So I guess for, people do that with big trains too. Like watching them. W says some of them are very well filmed. The train movies. Oh yeah. WW says Coco Melon Kids Show second highest rating on YouTube. Wow. WW says, I don't even remember what I said. Some joke about Nazis hiding in Switzerland. Maybe there's Hitler's house. Oh, yeah, you're kind of asking for trouble when you start talking about Nazis and Hitler, and you're on thin ice, maybe. I don't know. Even if you're just making a little jokey. Um, Last night I was watching Liberal Dan's show for a little bit, and then I went back to driving. I was Ubering, and I actually had Jolie, who's my moderator. She removed one of my comments for the second time. She's removed my comments, so because I called Gibson Media a dipshit. I'm pretty sure it was why, right? So that's kind of funny. I don't know where Jolie is. I guess she's probably got family stuff going. Usually she jumps in here. But let's see. For some reason the chat isn't catching up on this one. What's Wes saying here? Train rides through the mountains. Nazis don't like jokes. They're not very. Well, that was horrible. I was trying to do some sort of German Nazi accent, but they're not real humorous people. I don't think. Maybe I know stereotyping, but I don't really care if I stereotype Nazis and they get offended by it. I really don't care if I offend Nazis because they deserve being offended. For some reason, the chat on my iPad is not catching up. I don't think. What's that all about? Why is that chat frozen? Is the chat frozen? Oh, I don't have it on. I only have it on top messages. Apparently, that wasn't a top message. I don't know what determines a top message. It's like, oh, the algorithm says, hey, that's a top message. I don't know. I think the algorithm just goes like any mean. Okay, top. This is a top message. Liberty has no idea. I always flip to live. Yeah, on this one here, I just hadn't had it on all messages for some reason. But anyhow, I was going to say something. I forgot what I was going to say now. Liberty says, can't trust the algorithms. The algorithms, yeah. Those are the most untrustworthy. Although Al Gore, speaking of Al Gore, is turning out to be more and more right every day, right? As we see what's going on with our planet warming up. 101 degrees ocean temperatures in Florida. Ice sheets just melting away. Temperatures rising. So, anyhow. Oh, I didn't even notice on my coffee cup it has this thing that says currently caffeinating. Do they all have? This is how unobservant I am. I wonder if all the cups say the same thing or if they have different little sayings. I didn't even notice that. Currently caffeinating. Oh. Cheers, Mazel Tov, whatever. So last night I was Ubering, and I Ubered a little bit later, not too late, only till about, 12:30 or something. And then I went and charged the car. That takes about a half an hour, so it was a little after 1, I guess. And by the time I got back, it was like 1:30 or 1:40 to the apartment here. And that's not too late. That's about normal for me. But then I put it on the TV, and then there was this right here. It was Turner Classic Movies, and it was pretty interesting. This movie came on. I forget what it was called. I think it was called like They'll Never Forget or something like that. And I'm not sure when it was made. Looks like it might have been made in the 40s or something. But I think it was supposed to be taking place in the 20s. because it looked like they had cars, and they looked like cars, like almost like Model Ts or something from the 30s. And it was about this southern town, and they were going to have a parade. And once a year, it's like a Memorial Day parade in the South. And this is supposed to be, I think, in the 1920s or 30s. And it had these old it starts off with these old, they're like the last six remaining in this town Civil War veterans. They're all like in their 80s or 90s or whatever. And they were all dressed up in their Confederate uniforms and ready to participate in the parade and everything. And then it cuts to this classroom. It's like a college. They call it a college. And basically, it's like this, I guess, a business college. And it looked like it was all just women. And it was just basically, I guess, training them to be secretaries, maybe. Because then it shows this class, and it has this guy, a teacher, who's just kind of teaching them how to take dictation, I guess. And so he's kind of this young, handsome kind of teacher in I guess his 30s or whatever. And then there's this classroom of women, and they're all look like they're just 20s or something, early 20s or whatever. And they're all learning the dictation. And then there's this one girl that seems like she kind of has a crush on him a little bit, and he kind of pays attention to her. And it shows some of the other girls look a little jealous or something. And then all of a sudden, the dean or whatever who's in charge of this school comes busting in. He says, dismiss class, what are you doing? Don't you know this is a holiday, or something? And then the guy's like, he goes, oh, I didn't get the memo, basically. And then the dean or whatever, he's like, this is Memorial Day. Maybe you Northerners don't know about Memorial Day, but this is the day that we honor and remember our fallen, Confederate soldiers. It was all about the Confederates. And then the teacher was from the North. He had moved down there for this teaching job, I guess. And he goes, oh yeah, that's, we have, I think he called it like Declaration Day or something. And that's next month. So apparently, if this is historically accurate, because this is something I don't think I was aware of, or maybe I was and I forgot. But before we had Memorial Day like we have now, I guess back then the South had their Memorial Day, and they were just memorializing the Confederate soldiers, and then the North had their own other thing, and it was basically honoring and celebrating, the victory of the Civil War, basically, and remembering the fallen soldiers and all that, but. It was more about, I guess, this declaration of the emancipation and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, the dean or whatever, he says, okay, well, class is over. Everyone go and watch the parade or whatever. So the class is over, and then but the teacher stays behind in his classroom and does like he's doing. Well, he just stays behind, I guess, the grade papers or whatever. And then everyone goes out. And then later on, and then they show this one girl, and she's like this really cute, everyone loves her. And she was the one that kind of had that crush on the teacher. And she goes back to the school, because she had gone out with a friend, and they were having a soda or whatever, or a shake or whatever. And they were going to meet up at the parade, but she had forgotten something in the classroom. She forgot her little compact with her. What she called, I guess they call it a vanity, but yeah, later on they would become compacts, right? Where it was like a little mirror, and she had a lipstick, and she forgot that, so she went back to the class to go get that. And then it kind of cuts to later on, and through that, there's a couple scenes where you see that there's a black guy who's like the doorman, who later on they call him the janitor, but he's like. He's the guy who, they show him operating the elevator operator but he's just there. I guess he's the handyman and everything else. So it turns out, all of a sudden he's on the phone calling the police, and he's just crying about this girl and everything. And so that girl ends up, and this movie took an unexpected dark turn. she's dead. She's like in the bottom of an elevator shaft or bottom of something. Or maybe it was a basement or whatever. But and he's like, I didn't do it. And so the story is, they drag the black guy in and they're like interrogating him, and he's like crying, I didn't do it. And they lock him up, and it becomes a big thing. The whole town is coming out. It's almost like, they want justice, and they're ready to, basically hang this guy. And then there's this district attorney who wants to become senator, and he sees this as a great opportunity to win this case, and it will help him in his Senate run. I think the Senate. So I ended up, it was like 4 in the morning, and I wanted to watch the movie, but I ended up just turning it off because I had to get to sleep. So I don't know how it turned out. Hopefully it'll come back in. But basically it was like, and then the white guy, the teacher, becomes a suspect because he was gonna leave town because he wanted to teach somewhere else, and he wanted to go back up north, and they saw his letter like he was going to go uptown. He was going to go back up north, and they found a little speck of blood on his jacket and all this kind of stuff. So they haul him in for questioning, and so I'm not sure exactly where the movie goes, but I think it was trying to show how. And this is probably a movie, like I said, probably from the 40s. I'm not sure when it was made. Maybe 50s, but I think it was 40s, maybe 30s. I don't know. And so it was kind of interesting that they were trying to show how immediately, right off the bat, the black guy was the first number one prime suspect, and the whole town was ready to lynch the guy, basically, or at least see that he was convicted and probably executed. But right off the bat, the first one that they accused and brought in was the black guy, which is very true of what happens, and I that was really kind of remarkable. This movie, it was made in probably the 1940s or something, was examining that and exploring that. But then they had the teacher as a suspect, and he was looking really guilty. Now, here's what I think is going to happen. I haven't seen this movie. I apologize for the spoilers. If anyone, and I'm not even sure the name of it. I forget the name of it. But the way I think it's going to turn out is that it'll be one of the girls who was jealous of the little attention that he was paying to her. Maybe they got into a tussle, and she ended up falling and getting and dying. That's what I think it might go, because we know it wasn't the black guy, and the teacher is now it's looking too obvious, that he's really being, everything's pointing to him, but so it's a little too obvious. So I'm just thinking there must be someone else, and I'm thinking it might be there's this one classmate who did seem to be kind of subtly. It wasn't overdone. It's very, very, very well made movie, very well, I think, and so I think it might end up being that girl who actually did it. But anyhow. But the thing that was interesting was about this how they were exploring that in this movie about how about it's like racial profiling and how it would just automatically blame the black guy. They dragged the guy down to the police station. We're interrogating the guy mercilessly. Trying to force a confession out of him, and he was about ready to crack, probably. W says, I looked into charging a long trip to my sister's in Atlanta, adds another 3 hours to the trip. That would be if you were using a Tesla. And I think as you drive the Teslas more or get, I mean, you would probably follow their suggestions. But I think as you would, let's say if you were driving for a while and you got to know your car and know how your range and you don't have to take all of their suggestions for their charging. They kind of overdo it sometimes. I think. I think you can go. You don't have to stop at every charge. They'll have you stop a lot, and I think you can go like to the next one instead. Liberty said it's from the if it's from the 40s, don't worry about spoilers. Liberty says, what was the name of that movie again? I know, I can't remember. It was on Turner Classic Movies last night at about 2 a.m. my time. I don't know if you can look at the schedule or not. It was an old black and white movie. I thought it was something like They'll Never Forget or something like that. I don't know. I wonder if I could look at TCM's schedule. Let me see if I can look it up real quick. It was really interesting. I just, happened upon it. And oh, so here's TCM's schedule. I wonder if it'll show what was on last night. Let's see. So here's the TCM schedule. See, this shows today, like right now is Romeo and Juliet playing in the background. I don't think it'll let me go back. It doesn't let me go back to last night. It only shows today and on forward, I think. Search film title. Let's see. I don't know. I'm putting in a title that I don't even know is right or not. Dang, what was that called? I thought if I put something close that something would come up, but let's see. Here's the month schedule. I wonder if that'll show this whole month. Oh, this month. But it's taken forever. Oh shoot! Now I gotta go through every day. So yesterday was, well, this will be the 27th actually, because it was in the 27th. Let's just see here if I scroll. Let's see. We're gonna get the name of that movie, and you guys can check it out. Let's see. Okay, so They Won't Forget, 1937. It says bigotry flares when a teacher is accused of killing a small town girl in the South. It's directed by Mervyn Leroy. The cast is Claude Rains, a very famous name, Claude Rains. Then he did like a Hunchback of Notre Dame, whatever. Gloria Dixon and Edward Norris. So that was 6:15 a.m. That's probably Eastern time. So was it 3:15? I didn't start watching that till 3:15. Wow. No wonder I fell asleep at 4 o'clock. So I thought it was gonna download or go to this movie. I'm like clicking on the movie, but it doesn't really. I guess. Oh, there it is. So it becomes a. It looks like because the still photo they have is a trial. So it becomes like a trial movie. Brief synopsis, and then I already read that. Very, very brief synopsis. Bigotry flares when a teacher is accused of killing a small town girl in the South. Claude Rains is the attorney, like the district attorney. Edward Norris is the teacher who's accused, looks like. Gloria Dixon is the teacher's wife. I don't know. Who plays the girl? They don't. The girl who was murdered. They show her picture, but they don't have her name on there. Release date October 9th, 1937. Warner Brothers. Is based on a novel called Death in the Deep South by Ward Green that had been published the year earlier. It's an hour and 35 minutes long, black and white. 10 reels. They had to use 10 reels on that one. Anyhow, I should finish that movie. They Won't Forget. Ironic that I forgot the title. But I was close. I think what did I say? I said, they'll never forget. So I was in the ballpark. Actually, I was only like one word off. But it's They Won't Forget. 1937, Claude Rains. Starring, basically. Basically, in a nutshell. So, it was a good movie from what I saw. I was enjoying the movie. It would be interesting to see how that turns out. And is there so this is July. We just passed 4th of July. I've been seeing. I've been going through the channels. Like, wasn't History Channel, but I think it was actually some kind of a Fox channel. They've been playing all this like Civil War documentaries that were actually. Say what you want about Fox. I thought they were really good. It was like Kelsey Grammer was like a narrator or whatever, or the host. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but from what I've seen, it all looks pretty historically accurate. I don't see it being like, Fox, doing it. Or maybe it wasn't Fox. I don't know, but because it would come on. I was watching the documentary, and then some other weird programming would come on. Maybe it wasn't Fox. Maybe it was some sort of a. Because then some kind of religious programming was coming on or something. Anyhow, but it seems like I've been watching all of this Civil War stuff lately, and then this movie came on, and it's like post Civil War, of course, and it's dealing with the South and the attitudes of celebrating Memorial Day in the South was just about remembering the Confederate soldiers and that died in the war against the Northern aggression, right? So hey, Jolie's here. All right, Jolie, thanks for being by. I know I just sort of popped in. I just sort of came on with little warning, so glad you could be here. WW says Claude Rains played Captain Renault in Casablanca. Oh yes, Claude Rains was a huge star, right, back in those days. But I think his but I think wasn't he in the Hunchback of Notre Dame or something? I mean, he had this kind of iconic, right? Isn't that wasn't that his iconic thing? Or he did some horror stuff, right? Liberty saying hi to Jolie. W says Rain's most famous starring role was The Invisible Man. Oh, 1933. That was his most famous. Oh, okay. Who was? Oh, I'm thinking of somebody else for Hunchback. Huh? Who's the guy in that? W says hey Jolie, and then Jolie says hi to Liberty and Wes. We've just been chatting without you, Jolie, about this old movie called. Now I forgot. They Won't Forget. It's so funny that the title is what I'm doing. I keep forgetting the title, and it's like they won't forget. Well, I'm forgetting. They won't forget, but I do forget because I'm always like, it's something about forgetting and about they. I get the they and the forget. It's the middle word that I'm having problems with for some reason. They won't forget. Yeah, I think my mind subconsciously is saying, oh, yes, they will. Claude Rains. What about Claude Rains? Why are you capitalizing the A every time? I mean, if you did it once, I would think, oh, you just did it on accident. But you keep doing it, so now I'm thinking, okay, what's R-A-Ns? Rains? I don't get it. Is there some joke there? Or is that just twice that you did it on accident? You do something once, okay. It could just be a coincidence. You do something twice, then it starts to make you think that it's not an accident. And then if you do it 3 times, it's a pattern, and you're showing a pattern. Libertad says A is close to the shift key. Oh yeah, okay. I do it all the time. All right. Come to Wes's rescue. All right, I see what's going on here. But so yeah, if you have a chance, check out They Won't Forget. I'm gonna check it out just so I can see how it ended and see if my theory is right. See if I've sleuthed it out, you know. Liberdan, we is my West, or I think you mean West is my boy. Oh, another. Oh, you didn't have to pull that down. I mean, I know you're correcting it. You're editing. Okay, fine. Wes is my boy. Okay, so where are we at? I was talking about the movie, and we're talking about trains. Our love of trains. Liberal Dan and I are going to start our own train watching channels. I think that's what we've come to the conclusion of. We're going to each start our own train watching channels because the one we found has 433,000 subscribers. I think we found the secret, Dan. We're doing wrong. We need to just set up a camera on a train track and just have a live feed and just watch the subs come in. And then once you get to about 500,000 subs, all of a sudden you're like, hey, it's the Liberal Dan Show, you know? Are they all going to unsub you? You might lose 100,000, maybe. I don't think more than that. You still have, 400,000 subs. And then you'll build from that. So that's my strategy. I gotta find a train track somewhere where I can just set up a live feed or something. Maybe I'll just do a live feed of the Sphere of Las Vegas. But I need to find where I'm at. I don't really have a room with a view. The only view I have is of the Siegel Suites, which is right next door. So, and it's like not even interesting. If I could have like a live feed of just some corner where the hookers hang out, that might be an interesting live feed. I might get in trouble with the Johns and the pimps. They might not appreciate that. I don't know. So I might get in trouble. I might get beat up or something. Liberdad says, yep, train watching channels are apparently more interesting than politics. W says, people use them for babysitting children and animals. Okay. Liberdad says, maybe you'll catch something interesting in a window. Let me know loud. Yeah, the single suites over there. W says, keeps animals left at home occupied. Yeah, okay. And sometimes, isn't there like a cat channel where they just have other cats, or they have like a ball of yarn, and the cats just watch that, or they have fish, and the cats will just sit there and watch the fish, you know? Liberty says, one Mardi Gras, some couple was going at it in a second floor on their bed when their curtains were wide open. Everyone booed when they shut the curtains. Perverts! Oh, the perverts! Count me in, though. What's the name of that channel? Yeah, you know, I just gotta come up with a hook, man. I need a hook. Gotta come up. You know what? I did have kind of a hook when I started doing this. It was live streaming from my truck, and that was interesting. That was pretty interesting. Like being out on the road, being at different locations, and I could turn the camera around and go, "Hey, I'm at this truck stop. I'm here in Idaho," and I think that was a lot more interesting than just being here at this apartment here. But what am I gonna? I mean, I might go back to truck driving at some point. I don't know. Hey, there's Stephanie B2. Thanks for coming by, Stephanie B2. Glad to see you. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button if you don't mind, and subscribe and share. W says, Lebanon, in the Netherlands, the girls stand or sit in their picture windows, either naked or in lingerie. They got the lingerie going. Is that the Netherlands or is that Amsterdam? Boom. Julie says, hey, 70B2. And 70B2 says, I did. Hey, Dan. Oh, thank you so much, Stephanie. Thank you so much for the thumbs ups. I really do appreciate it. But my only question is, are you currently caffeinating? Apparently, I have these cups that have the saying on it. I didn't even know. I want to go check something real quick. I gotta go. I want to see if they have. W says Amsterdam, but it is legal all over. Let me check these cups real quick. Okay. Here's a funny story. You might find interesting. Okay, I bought these cups to make coffee. So when I have coffee, I've got a cup, and I didn't realize that they all have different things. Okay, this says, I don't know. It says no, not yet, closer, almost there, ready. I'm not sure what that's about. I can imagine what I think, okay, whatever. Look at this one says, pick me up. And that has a double entendre there, it's like, pick me up. Or a little pick me up, caffeinated. Or, hey baby, pick me up. Here's, now this one just says Dixie. Very racist. This says, okay, off, on. Okay, whatever. Oh, currently caffeinating. I have that one. Oh, then this is another one of the no, not yet, closer thing. And pick me up. So maybe that's the extent of it. I didn't even realize that these all had different little sayings on it, which is kind of cool. It's kind of like the candy hearts or whatever. It says like, be my Valentine or whatever. 70B2 says no caffeine right now. I have A&W Diet root beer, which I think is not caffeinated. Libertan says, I went to Amsterdam at 17. The entire youth group walked down one street and we got to see one of those windows. Awesome. 70B2's laughing, and Somebody says Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas? I don't know. W says my dad was a root beer nut. He liked Barks the best, but A&W was close. We had A&W root beer at his funeral. Oh. Well, that's cool though. You did that. Libertad says I'm not huge on root beer, but when I drink it, I like Barks. Libertad says what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas except for STI. Yeah, that's true. Back to the root beer. I like root beer. I like me some root beer. But I really like. There's something about if you go into an A&W, and some of them, I think they say they make the root beer right there. If I read this little sign correctly, or I think this one I was going to, I think they make their own root beer. It's A&W, and but there's something about instead of just getting a paper cup, wax covered cup, or whatever it is. Not wax covered, but at the soda fountain, there's something about getting the frosty mug. Some places still have you can get they have these mugs. They keep them in a little refrigerator, and it's like a frosty mug, big glass mug, and you go and you get the root beer. There's something about that just makes it taste so much better than just out of a regular cup. Oh, I still got some coffee in here. I almost spilled it. Than regular cup with whatever. So whenever I go to an A&W, if they have the mugs you can get, the glass mugs, and they're frosty, I always get that, and it just seems to taste so much better. Very cool. Do they have lids? Oh, these cups? Yeah, it has lids. I did get came with lids. 72 says. Abby said the sign still says they make it there. I think they just mix the concentrate. Yeah, so it's cool, and I think it's something about the glass mug, the frosty glass mug, that really makes it taste really, really good. And I don't even need to get ice. If it's a frosty mug, like a really cold mug, and then the root beer is also cold, coming out cold, then I don't even get ice. But if I get like a cup, a regular paper cup, whatever, then I'll get ice. But if they give me the cold frosty mug, and it's already the root beer that's coming out is cold also, then I don't even do ice, and because I always do ice with with my soft drinks, but in that situation, I don't even need to add ice, and so you get this whole mug, and then the little ice that's in the mug starts to sort of break off. It's really good. Oh, hubby. Okay, I was wondering who's. I didn't want to say who Abby was. I used to go to high school with a girl named Abby. In fact, I wrote a song about Abby. Just so you know. Benny Loco goes, "Hey, Benny Loco, welcome to the club, Benny Loco. This is the club. This is the Chucker John Club. Putting clothes on the line and lurking. Happy Feckless Thursday. Is that what this is? Feckless Thursday, or Crash and Burn Thursday, as I like to call it. But thanks for being here, Benny Loco. Glad to see you out there." In the desert, from one desert to another. Hello. WW says draft root beer like A&W is great when you get it from the tap. Yes, that's what I was trying to say. Libertad says Abby Normal. I got the brain. It was by Abby. It was Abby Normal's brain. Master. I guess says saying hi to Benny Loco. Some of you mug is the float dream. Oh, and yeah, and a root beer float. I used to love root beer floats too. As a sidebar, Not that I don't like them now. I don't know why I said used to. I still like root beer floats. I guess I said it's sort of like a past tense because it's been a long time since I had one. But yeah, a good root beer float with AW root beer and a frosty cool mug. Can't beat that. Libertarian says, hey, Benny. And Julie says, hey, Benny. Benny says, hey, hugs all around. And W says, used to have a place called Dog and Suds that we loved as kids. Dogs and Suds. Oh, yeah, good old Dogs and Suds. You just eat dogs and then you wash them. I don't know. StarB2 says, hey, Benny Loco. Hey, Benny Loco. Hey, Benny Loco. I kind of want to make another cup of coffee. I feel as though I need to get more caffeinated than I already am. WW says, spicier root beer. There is one in a bottle Dad really liked, but I can't remember the name. Liberdan says, I drove my oldest crazy with dead baby jokes, including, how do you make a dead baby float? A glass of root beer and 2 scoops of dead baby. Oh, that's disgusting, Dan. That is disgusting. No wonder your oldest was like getting crazy. I mean, come on. I'm gonna make a cup of coffee. I'm gonna make me a cup of coffee now. Just because of that, Dan, I'm gonna make a cup of coffee. You guys talk amongst yourselves. Enjoy the Turner Classic movies. It's in the background there. I'm not even sure if it's playing. If it's still, is it still Romeo and Juliet? Are they having a sex scene? What are they doing? Okay, I don't mean to be showing porn on my live stream. It's not porn, I'm just joking. I'm not that much of a prude. It looks kind of weird, whatever it is. All right. Let the coffee making commence. Cup number 2. Dan is so awful, says Julie. IBC root beer, a little hotter. Yeah, I've had IBC. Dan says, Julie, I am a bad boy. W says, I got kicked out of Johnny Million for singing a song about a dying lamb. Were you on camera on Johnny Million? That takes a lot if Johnny Million kicks you off. You must have been really obnoxious and disgusting in order for Johnny Million to kick you off. Liberland says, was it a bad song? Was it a bad song? I get it. See how I was quick. I was quick as a whip on that one. It didn't go over my head. He said bad, like a lamb might say. If a lamb were to possibly speak in a way. W says, Lebanon, Dan, are you drinking at work? How dare you, Wes, accuse Dan of that. That's because you're the goat. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. So yeah, I've been called worse, though, so, Greatest of all time! No. Speaking of greatest all time, I'm wearing my Apple Valley Sun Devil reunion T-shirt. That's going on this weekend. I guess I'll stop by and make an appearance at my old high school reunion. Say hey to all my old buddies, of which I think will only be a couple. Maybe if I'm lucky, the people I actually know will be there. W says greatest Uber trucker we know. Yes, Uber trucker. Hey, I wonder if Uber should have a trucker division. Although, I don't know if I'd want to do it. I'm really kind of sick of trucks. Let me go get my coffee. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves and watch this old porno movie. I'm going to, 72 says, I'm going to our old camp we went to as kids and then later became counselors. We're going as alumni for 3 days. Oh, that sounds cool. W says, no, I was just typing the lyrics to the song. It sounded like he was playing. Oh, that's interesting. Leave it to Wes to type in songs. And people had no idea. They just thought you were just, they just thought you were just like commenting. And they're like, what the fuck? This dude is deranged, man. Talking about a dead lamb or whatever it was. All right. Let's crash and burn, baby. All right, so WW says, the bees and the flies picking at its eyes, all while he's crying, Mommy. I guess. Yeah, song lyrics are tricky, Wes. When you just see them and you read them, it can have a whole different effect than when you're actually singing it with music along with music and stuff. Somebody B2 says Camp Jack Hazard in Dardanelle, California. That sounds like fun, like a fun place. WW says, cool stuff, B. Our old Methodist campground was turned into a community park. They tore down most of the old cabins. Those bastards. How dare they tear down the cabins? That's the best part. I went to camp. I went to summer camp. I think only one time. It was in 1972, and I went to camp. It was called Camp Wakie, and I believe it was in Idlewild, California, which are the mountains kind of above Palm Springs, but they're really high elevation. So it's not because if you're from back east and you hear me say Palm Springs, you're probably just thinking desert and hot. But this is up in the mountains, like 10,000 feet elevation and foresty and pine trees and everything else. It was really nice. And I remember I had to earn my way to this camp. It was like YMCA camp. And it was a deal where they had I think there was a lake. It was almost like, what was that one, that Bill Murray movie? It was like a lake, and I think on one side they had the boys, on the other side they had the girls, cabins and stuff. And then for our activities, we would kind of all intermingle and stuff. So I was like 11 going on 12. And I remember in order to go, I had to sell peanuts. Remember, like YMCA peanuts or something? I think I was selling like these cans of mixed nuts. And that's how I earned my way to camp for that summer. Where I sold these peanuts probably all spring long to friends and relatives and wherever I could sell them. And I sold a whole bunch of these cans of peanuts. And that's how I got there. Yeah, so somebody says, our camp is turning 100 next year. Wow. W says, famous song. W says, all the pretty little horses. The title sounds familiar, right? That does sound familiar. 70B2 says, putting up furring strips and a pegboard today for all my furniture flipping supplies. Oh, okay. That's right, 70B2, you're the big furniture flipper. 70B2's our camp was a YMCA camp and we sold the peanuts. Yeah, so that's what I did. But I think I only did it the 1 year. I guess once was enough. No, I had fun. I remember. I think I still have this little thing that I made. It's really silly, and I think most of it's come off. But I think I found a little piece of wood, like a piece of bark or something, and then they had these like alphabet, like little pasta noodles, but it was actually like little letters, and so I just glued on like Camp Wakie 1972 or something like that. I think I still have it, but I think half the letters have fallen off. So I have that. And that's probably the only memento I have, because I think I made a couple other things. And I think that camp. I was gonna say it was 2 weeks, but it might not. That sounds too long. Because I think they actually had like a parents visiting day. I mean, so it wasn't like, or maybe that was just the day they picked us up. I don't know. Maybe it was only like a week or something like that. But it was cool. I remember we did a bunch of hiking and we had crafts. We had a swimming pool where I knew how to swim. But they actually had things where they taught you different. Like I knew how to just freestyle swim, and they actually had things where they taught you how to do like breaststroke and side stroke and all that kind of shit, and backstroke. So I remember that it was kind of like this big Olympic-sized swimming pool. I think they had. Jolie says I sent my kids to camp every 70B210. I always want to turn you into a Datsun. It was a YMC camp, and it was an amazing camp. They loved it. W says, you're crazy. Rebooting! 70B2 says, the session at ours were 6 to 7 days. We have a climbing zip line set up. Oh, okay. That sounds cool. Yeah, so that's probably what ours was. It was probably like a week. It probably just felt like 2 weeks. And I don't think I'd ever been away from home a week or something. And that was fun because, my cousin, we were like really close in age. We were like brothers. And my aunt, that was like my favorite aunt, so that didn't seem, so bad. But like going away to camp, I mean, I didn't have any like separation anxiety. I was 11 going to 12, and I had fun time, but it probably just felt like 2 weeks because it was like away from home, and it was a long way from home. I mean, it's probably at least 100 miles away from home or more maybe. That camp, but it was a good time. 70B2 says pool, craft, building, photography, hiking for overnights. Yeah, we had pool, we had crafts. I don't remember photography. We did hiking, but it was just day hikes. It wasn't anything overnight. And we had a big chow hall. and I think they would put you on like KP duty or something. I guess they kind of would rotate that around. I don't remember because I think I remember like cleaning up the chow hall a little bit, like cleaning the trays and picking up trash or something like that. Oh, we actually had a guest speaker. We had I don't know if you guys remember who Gale Sayers was. Gale Sayers, you know, National Football League Hall of Famer, Chicago Bears running back, one of the greatest running backs in the history of the NFL. Was there and did a like an appearance, like a speech, I guess you call it, speech or a lecture or whatever. It was very religious. It was very Christian. I guess YMCA is Christian. I didn't even really put that together. So maybe that's why I didn't go back. Cause like I don't want to go to this Christian thing. But I remember it was a bunch of I am third type stuff. I think that was I think the chow hall was like a chow hall stage chapel. You know, it was like a all-purpose room. I think it also would clear the seats away. I think it had basketball things. So anyhow, and I think on the walls they had I am third. I think was on the walls. This was supposed to be like what is this supposed to be like? God, family, and then yourself, or something like that. And so that was sort of a lot of his speech was like that. So, but I just thought it was awesome that Gale Sayers was there, and I wish I would have got his autograph. I didn't even think about that at the time. It's funny how you don't think about that. I was just like, oh, there's Gale Sayers. And then he didn't really talk about football too much. He was talking about a lot about God and Jesus and shit like that. So I was like, okay, whatever. So let's see here. Wes says on my phone. Okay, on your phone. On my phone. 70B2 says we have new buildings this year because of the snow building up on the roofs. Some collapsed under the weight of oh wow. Yeah, there was so much snow. Bitty Loco says never been to camp. Dad spent his money on booze, gals, and gambling. My kind of guy. In fact, I'm still waiting to go to camp on vacation. OMW to bring Rand his list of demands, AKF, but still listening. Oh, on my way to bring Rand his list of demands. Okay, well, thanks for listening, Benny. Always glad to see you in here, and glad you're listening. 70B2 says, did you get your leather circle, triangle, or square there? I don't remember. 72 at camp, not here. I probably got something. I'm trying to remember now. I think I made a belt, and I stamped out little things on the belt. And I think leather, circle, triangle, or square. I don't know. Apparently I didn't, because I don't remember, but I don't know, man. It's been so long ago. I don't remember if I probably got something. Something like that. I don't know. I don't remember, Stephanie. Wes says, preacher's kid. I think my church camp might have been nearly free. I went to scout camp for a weekend once. That cost money, but we got to fire rifles. Oh, yeah. I remember, because we moved around so much, I could never really, it seems like I could never really get established in something. Because I remember I started Boy Scout. I think I started Cub Scouts. And I did that. And I would do that for a while. And then we would move. And it just would disrupt everything. And then I think I did Weeblos for like not even a year. You know, I remember making like a Pinewood Derby car, and I remember, going to certain events or certain, meetings and stuff. And I remember having the uniform. And then I don't think I ever did Boy Scouts. Because that's when you're a little bit older. I think I just went to Weeblos. Um, I think I was gonna go to Boy Scouts, but then I was older, and I just had never really been in it in Cub Scouts and Weeblos enough to really where it wasn't really that important to me, I guess. But I remember my cousin. I think he went to a Boy Scouts camp, and I think it was a big one. Oh, didn't they have like the Boy Scout Jamboree or something? And he went to that, and I remember I was kind of, not, I guess, jealous or whatever. I mean, I wish I could have gone because I think it was on Catalina Island. I think, and I think he was saying that they got to shoot guns and all this kind of stuff, and I was like, damn, I wish I would have went. I mean, if you're a kid and they say you get to shoot guns, it's like, count me in, man. Julie says, the only time I've been on a zip line was at Girls Scout camp. Would love to do that again. I'm trying to think if I've ever done a zip line. I don't think I've ever done a zip line. Yeah, I don't think I ever have. Wes said that he's never been on one. Stephanie Bidu says, our camp has Raggers Point, where we would have a ceremony for those of us getting a new one for service of God. Each one represents something different up to complete service. We would have a ceremony for getting a new one for service of God. Wow, that's cool. Insanely fun, says Jolie. Jolie. God, I said Jaylee again. I don't know why I said that. Yeah, ziplining looks fun. I just have never done it. Not because I always wanted to, but I think now I'm just too old and fat, so I don't think I'll do it now. But it always looked like a fun thing to do. Starting Video says there's a great zip line in Mariposa, California. It has 7 zip lines. Wow, up in Mariposa. Huh? Wes says 4-H or YMCA. Are you talking about Stephanie's camp? The one that she went to was YMCA, I think. Wes says, that sounds like Scouts too. Go to camp. They help you earn your badges. Yeah. Oh, or are you talking about my cousin? My cousin was a Boy Scout one. Somebody just says, the ceremonies are at night by candlelight. It's really nice. Somebody would do YMCA. So, welcome to Trucker John Camp Talk. Camp Talk all day, every day. That's where we talk about camp. Maybe that's the hook. The hook I need. I don't know. West Webb says, we did stuff like that too, sang songs around the fire. Oh, I bet old Wes was over there leading the choir. Jolie says, my kids had those ceremonies too. It's Stephanie B too. Oh. It's been a while since I've gone camping. I need to go camping. Wes says, not back then. I was a kid. So? Could have still sang. You could have been the loudest voice. I guess you're too shy then, maybe. I don't know. Jolie says they got a new color of bandana every year. Oh, wow. Nice. Makes it all worth it, doesn't it? All right, so what else is going on with y'all? With y'all, anything fun and exciting going on in your parts of the world? Besides, either frying to death from the heat, or getting flooded from the floods, or smoked out from the smoke. Things of this nature. Westwood says, I did counsel at a camp for disabled adults that a friend of mine directed, but there we mostly tried to keep the men away from the women. Oh my gosh. Men are such horny little devils, aren't they? 72 says, I'm up to my red, Jolie. I'm getting my purple this year. Wow. I mean, I say wow like I know that the significance of that. But Jolie says, they were proud of those bandanas. 72 says, they're called rags, Jolie. I remember I was in high school, and Wendy's opened up in our town in Victorville. It was like the first Wendy's to come out that far west, I think, or something. It was like Wendy's was a new thing. They started out in Ohio and had been working their way west. And they came to Victorville, and they had a big, giant hiring event. And they had this big room set up at the Holiday Inn, conference rooms. And I remember we all went and applied. And then they had this big orientation. And it was a really big deal. And they had like Wendy's, big shots come down. And I got hired. I was one of the kids that got hired. I was still in high school. And I became a cook there, burger flipper at Wendy's. And I remember there was this gal, it was our manager, one of the managers. And it was like, we always had towels to wipe down counters with and stuff like that. And somebody said, I think at one point someone said, hey, hand me that rag. Or hand me a rag. And this manager stopped everything and said, like, stopped the whole production, stopped everybody. And said, look, she goes like, we don't say rag. Okay, a rag is something that we don't want to talk about. So we just call them towel, or just say towel or something like that, And she was referring to like, being on the rag, type of thing. But like, not calling a towel a rag. She had this thing about that. I always thought that was funny. Like funny as in odd and peculiar. Like she would have this aversion to calling a towel a rag. Because to her, that meant, it was talking about a woman's period or something. And she thought that was inappropriate. I still remember that to this day. And that's 45 years ago. So let's see here. Wes says, I've only been out a little bit, but they're tearing up my front yard to put in new water lines. Don't like watching them tear up my yard. No, that's not. Probably not, because I know seems like you're always working on that yard. Jolie says, yeah, my oldest has the purple one. Wes says, we made lanyards the first day, took some of them all morning, just to write their names on a chip of wood. Hey, that's kind of what I did with the chip of wood. I think I wrote like Camp Lackey, 1972 or something. Jolie says, I'm not sure what all colors she has, but I just happened to come across the purple one the other day. 70B2 says, wow, purple. So I guess purple is like a big honor. That's a big accomplishment. 70B2 says, your oldest only has white to go, Jolie. Complete service to God and community. Wow. That's like, and then what? 70B2, Jolie, that's a heavy one. I had no idea. I had no idea that this was such a, that these bandanas were so significant. See, you learn something new every day. You learn a little something new every day, don't you? At least I do. Somebody just said, I'm not sure if I'll ever be ready for my white. Hey, don't cut yourself short. Don't sell yourself short there, Stephanie. Westwood says, in Scouts, it is called God and Country, the only one that rivals the Eagle. Is that what an Eagle Scout is? Is an Eagle Scout the equivalent of getting the white rag? I mean the white bandana. Don't say rag. That's supposed to say rag. Just wondering. Just asking for a friend. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? So anyhow, I dabbled a little bit in scouting, but only like 1 year of Cub Scouts and maybe not even a whole year of Weeblos. I think that was it. That was it for old truckers. It was because we moved around so much. Same thing happened with Little League. I loved baseball. Baseball was my favorite sport. I was never that good at it. I was really actually pretty horrible at it, but I still loved it. But we would always move, and either I missed tryouts or I missed the starting date. So I managed to play, I think, a couple seasons of Little League. It's kind of spread out, not consecutively. And then we had what was called, they called it Major League. It was a part of the Little League baseball, association or whatever they call it. But it was just this other older division. So like in Little League, I think you go up to age 12, I think. And then they had what they called Major League, which was it 13? I'm trying to remember how old I was when I played. Because I actually played back-to-back years there. And I thought I was older than 13 though. Maybe Little League goes to 13. Maybe it's 14 and 15. It's just for these two years of age. Like, I think it's just 14 and 15-year-olds would play in this league called Major League, which was Little League baseball, but for that age. So I managed. So that's all I played. I played 2 non-consecutive years down in Little League, and then that Major League where I played 2 back-to-back years, and that's all I ever got to play. And I've been looking back on it. I'm like, God, come on, man, stop moving around so much. My parents moved all the time. It was back and forth. Some of it was kind of far. Like sometimes we moved to Fresno, and sometimes we moved up to Big Bear. But usually it was just moving back and forth between Victorville and Apple Valley, which are like neighboring cities. But still, it would always disrupt our lives. It would disrupt school. It would disrupt these social things and these things like scouts and baseball, Little League. It just sucked. So let's see here in the chat. 70B2 says probably. What says no, that is God and Country, but lots of guys don't think that they are kind and holy enough to achieve it. Liberty says I got up to Star Scout, but then internal troop politics started happening and our scoutmaster died. Wow. The absolute worst of the assistant scoutmasters took over. Ugh. Stephanie B2 says, we moved every year in the middle of the year. I hated being the new kid all the time. I know, you just establish your friends and everything, and then you got to start all over again. It sucked. It happened to me like literally like 12 times from kindergarten through up to like 8th grade. We moved like 12 times, literally, and then finally in like 8th grade, we stopped moving, and I was able to have some sort of stability. Wes says Pony League is what we called it. Well, Pony League is a different organization. Pony League is not Little League. Little League is a Little League baseball association or whatever, and Pony League is like a rival association, and they do have all the way from t-ball up to teenagers in Pony League, because I had my son in Pony League, and he played t-ball, and then he played right after t-ball, and that was Pony League. But Pony League is a separate, completely separate institute from Little League. They're two different complete organizations. So Pony League says is what we called it. Now they call them stud leagues or manly league. I don't know about that. Liberty says, I went away for the summer, came back. The scoutmaster had died. The dad of the two bratty kids became the new one, and all he wanted to do was push his kids. Benito says, okay, I'm there or here. Wish me luck. If you're still streaming when I come out, I'll jump back in. If y'all are gone, happy Feckless Thursday. All right, Benny. I'll probably only be on for another 17 minutes or so. But thanks for coming by. Hope everything goes well. I know you're going through some tough times over there. So I'm hoping for the best for you and your husband. Julie says, love you. Give Rand our best. Stephanie B2 says, same here, John. We stopped moving when 8 was in high school. Or when I think I was in high school. West Webb says, my mom and dad were den mothers for 1 year of Cub Scouts. Not my favorite year. They never let me be goofy. Yeah, you had to be an example. A good example, right? Stephanie B2 says, fat fingers. Yeah, but I figured it was I. I figured you meant I. Benito says, I'll keep you playing for watch time, but you are dark and silent in my purse. I'm the dark, silent type. Wes says, Benny Loco. Well, I appreciate that, Benny. I appreciate the watch time. Now all I gotta do is set up my train cam. And I'm off to the races. Trucker John train cam. Coming soon. I should just do an Uber cam and just not tell anybody that I'm doing it. I wonder if I could do that and not get fired from Uber. Like just have a camera live streaming. But you know what? When you're on the strip and everything, the signal goes out. It goes in and out because there's so much interference down there with all the lights and the buildings, and then all the Wi-Fi's. Every hotel and casino, it seems like they have all their own Wi-Fi. So it just it's kind of a mess down there. But it would be interesting. Wes says 8 watching, 6 participating. Liberty says don't do Uber Camp. They have kicked people off. Yeah, I guess not. You're right, dude. Wes says please don't get fired. I know. I don't want to get fired because I love doing it. I mean, I do love it. And somebody because on my driver app thing on the profile that the passengers see, they see my little profile, and on there it said I say on there like I was a trucker for 2 decades, a big rig, 18-wheeler, truck driver. And then it says, like, why do I do this? And I just wrote, like, because it's fun. And this guy, one of the passengers, he thought I was being sarcastic. He goes, I read your profile. I'm sure you must have meant that sarcastically. And I said, no. I go, no, I really like this. I think I'm having fun. And he's like, really? And I go, yeah. I go, I mean, compared to driving a truck, this is like a piece of cake. This is like a cakewalk, you know? Because we were in this really, there's lots of traffic on the strip. It can get really hairy and chaotic. But it doesn't bug me. It doesn't bother me at all. But a lot of people, they'll be sitting there going, I don't know how you do this. I don't know how you do this. And I just go, I drove a truck for 20 years, an 18-wheeler. This is like a day at the park, man. This is like nothing to me. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense or whatever. But, I mean, either you got it or you don't got it. I guess I got it. No, I mean, we all have our own things. I'm not a computer scientist. I'm not a rocket scientist. I'm not a doctor or anything like that. But I can drive the fuck out of a vehicle. I'll tell you that much for sure right now. If it's got a steering wheel and some anywhere from 4 to 18 wheels, I can drive it. I can drive it like a motherfucker. I guess I'm not supposed to cuss. I keep forgetting. I guess it's bad for the algorithm or something. And then Julie keeps deleting my cussing. So I guess I shouldn't cuss. I don't know. But I just can't help it. Sometimes I just cuss like a little cusser. I'm just a little cusser. It says, even if you live in an area with single party consent for filming, Uber still kick people off. West says, I'm not sure how it works. Yeah, I remember when I first went on the app, the Uber app, I think it said something about if you have a dash cam that points towards, like, inside the vehicle. I think it said you could have that, but that you had to put that like on your profile or something to give people a choice if they wanted to take a ride from you. I guess that's kind of what the consent thing, the single party consent you were talking about, maybe. But that was for a dash cam, which would be my the way I took that to mean was like if you had a dash cam and you were using that just for safety reasons, whether it be if someone assaulted you and or even if someone tried to claim that you assaulted them or something like that, then you would have that as, you know, as a safety measure type of a thing, or if there was some sort of even like, you know, the regular, like some car accidents and things like that, things of this nature. That if you, but so I don't know, yeah. Wes says Tony and Hal both swear. Now I saw something that came up on this phone. It says Liberal Dan was hidden by Jolie. Oh, so Liberal Dan did Liberal Dan drop some sort of F-bomb, and then Jolie, she's a taskmaster. Taskmaster. She ain't messing around. She don't play. Jolie don't play. I called Gibral. That's sort of like a matchup between liberal and Gibson. Because I was going to talk about how I called Gibson Media. I called him a dipshit last night on Dan's show, and I'm pretty sure it was Jolie swooped in and took that one right off. It was like, I was like, all right, I know. I should. It's funny. I made this comment because he had said something about murder rates in democratically run cities are the biggest or something, and I just said something like, not we look at per capita or something, and then I stopped, and then at the last second, I just said dipshit, and I knew as soon as I wrote you dipshit, I was like, I knew that was like a no. I probably shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have resorted to the name calling. I should have just stuck with the facts, that I was presenting, and just left it at that. I didn't have to add the you dipshit, but I just couldn't help myself. I just could not help myself because I hate that motherfucker so much. I don't really hate him that much, but I just think he's disgusting. And let me try to find the right word. I don't know if disgusting is right. I don't know if I hate the guy, but he's just so stupid and annoying, and I just don't like him. So I just couldn't help myself. I had to call him a dipshit, and I should have just left that off. I should just be a mature man, not a child, and I should just put my little factoid down there and just leave it at that. I don't need to resort to name calling, but I can't help myself sometimes. I just can't help myself. So, Joey says, I dropped my phone, then fumbled with picking it up. I didn't mean to do it. Sorry, I did. Joey says, I think you have to fix it, John. Julie says, yes, it was me, John, and just after having the name-calling discussion on your channel. I know, right? But I also said, I believe, roll back the tape, I think I did say, as a disclaimer, that I'm no innocent angel when it comes to name-calling. Because that was the thing when I was talking about, something that Benny Loco had said, right? And I kind of got into her about that. But I think I started that off by saying, hey, look, I'm no angel here. I'm no innocent. I've called people names too. But I just didn't like that one word that she used, and so I went off on that. But yeah, I know I'm a hypocrite. And I admitted it. I said, hey, look, I know I'm no innocent angel here. I've called people names, and then so. But you're right. You're right. I got to stop with the name calling, because all that really does, it takes away from the factoid that I put there, and it puts all of the attention on the name calling, right? So if you want to try to get a salient point across, there's no quicker way of destroying that than by resorting to name calling at the end of it, by tagging it, by putting it on the end there a nice little name. Yeah. So I mean, I know this intellectually, I know it, but emotionally, I guess, or whatever, I just I fuck it up. But you're right, Julie. 100% right. Somebody just says, gotta go. See y'all later. Well, thank you so much, Stephanie, for being here. I appreciate it. Get back to flipping that furniture. Good luck on that. Don't lick the furniture, but good luck on that endeavor. Sounds like a fun little thing to do. Like, right? You take the furniture and fix it up and then sell it. That's pretty awesome. So, hopefully we'll see you again on Tuesday, Thursdays, right here on the YouTube channel, Tuesday and Thursday. It's Rocker John. If anyone can guess what very sad attempt that was of an impersonation, who I was trying to impersonate, if you know who that was, put that in the chat. West Webb says, it's like telling your kid all about Jesus after you just beat him. Or telling your kid, like, not to cuss, and while you're telling your kid, like, don't fucking cuss or something. West Webb says, take care, Stephanie. And Jolie says, see you, Stephanie. Stephanie me too. Alrighty. Thanks for being here, Stephanie. We'll see you on the next one. We'll see you next time. I might go live tomorrow, too. I might go live this afternoon. I don't know. Because apparently Hal's not going to be here. So I like to glom on his time. So I might go on again later on today. And tomorrow, Hal's taking care of some family business. He's got some, sad stuff, funeral, and another family member who is not looking too good health-wise, so he's got some stuff going on. So maybe Trucker John could be here. I could be your little crutch. Not crutch, your little, just your little safe space. Trucker John could be a little safe space for you to hang out in. Wes says, no Tony and Gabe tomorrow. Oh, good. Tony and Gabe. Ooh, are those your new boyfriends, Tony and Gabe? You're just gonna dump old Trucker John and go over to Tony and Gabe all the time? Ooh, I'm doing some weird Donald Trump double hand job thing. I didn't even know what I was doing. I didn't even realize it. Sorry, that was kind of weird. But I am currently caffeinated, so there's that. I got that going for them. Shut up, I like them. I like them too. Okay, truth be known, I've watched a little of Tony and Gabe, and they're not bad. They're not bad. Refuge, Shelter, Oasis. I kind of like Safe Space myself. Comfort. I'm the comfort food of live streams. Maybe, sort of, kind of. I don't know. But I am caffeinated currently. I am currently caffeinated, by the way. Watch out for the ticks. Where? Are there ticks around? I don't see any ticks. Do you see any ticks? I don't see any ticks. I see some Cheerio box over there. Today's show brought to you by Cheerios, Honey Nuts and Oats Cheerios. Today, I had Cheerios with banana. I bought some bananas, a couple of bananas. I only buy like 2 because they rot so easily. But this one I had was perfect, perfectly ripe. It was just perfect. It wasn't too, green or whatever. And there was it was completely yellow, no black, no dark spots on it. And when I cut it open, peeled it, it was perfect banana. That means that the other banana that I have tomorrow, it'll be rotten. It'll be too ripe. The one I had today was perfect, and I love bananas on my Cheerios, especially when I get like the plain Cheerios. And I know a lot of people are probably like, Cheerios are gross, because they're just like oats. It's like horse food. That's what horses eat. But what can I say? I've been eating Cheerios since I was a little kid, and when I was a little kid, of course, I would dump like a half a bowl of sugar on top of it. I don't do that anymore, but I also would add bananas to it, and I still do. I still add bananas to it. Wes says they are said to be bad this year, just on the news. Wes says probably don't have that many ticks in Nevada. I don't know. I really don't know. Probably not. It's probably too hot here. Wes says I like browner bananas. Wes, that's disgusting. Brown bananas are gross. I hate brown bananas. I just throw them out. Once it gets one little black thing on the thing, it's gone. I don't eat that. That's disgusting. It has to be just perfectly ripe. And of course, my mom used to make banana nut bread. So as soon as the bananas would go bad, she's like, "Well, I guess I'll make some banana bread." And then it was good in that aspect or whatever. But just to like eat a banana or even cut it up and put it on your cereal, and if it's overripe or brown, that's disgusting. Ugh, gross. Gross. Wes says oatmeal is more like horse feed. Wes says in cereal or ice cream or yogurt. No, it's got to be perfectly ripe. I would rather have it a little bit on the like not ripe enough than on the little bit overripe. Once it starts getting like soft and mushy and brown, no. Yeah, it's got to be hard. It's got to be hard. Sorry. Don't like mushy. But anyhow, okay. So here are at the 2-hour mark. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. We're gonna call it. We're gonna call this bitch. Jolie says, John, I just sent you a video in our Discord that chat on how to unhide Dan. You have to do it. Oh, I have. Oh, okay. Um, Let me check that out real quick. If my mod says I gotta do it, then I gotta do it. Let me go over here. Checking it out. I'm checking it out. Undo hide user from channel. Oh, so that, I thought that you just like removed a comment or something. So did that like kind of like block him or something? Did that block him? Do I need to watch this now, or do I? Can I do it later? Can I do it after I end the thing and then just do it later? I mean, do you want me to watch this now? Is this a video? Oops. Oh. Well, here's the video.
It's very simple. So let's get started. First, you need to go and click on your name, on your icon here, and then click on YouTube Studio. Then you need to click here in the corner on the settings, and then you need to go to the community, and then we have moderators, approved users, and at the bottom here we have hidden users or the banned users. So by just clicking on the cross, you will remove the person from the banned list. And then don't forget to click on save.
All right, let's check it out. Let me go see if I can figure this out. Julie says I can do it later. I think, Wes, I'm pretty sure that Hal said there is no... He's not doing a show today or tomorrow because of the funeral and, all that stuff going on with his family. Now, you might want to check with Andrea over in Discord or something to double check, but I'm pretty sure there's no show today or tomorrow, but he will do the Saturday show. Pretty sure. Yeah, I'll have to figure out the unhide thing, I guess, later, because my iPad doing this on the iPad, it doesn't have everything like that guy had on the video. I don't believe it's different. I might have to go back on the phone and do it through the phone. Let's see. Here's audience. Oh, no, see, this is just analytics. So anyhow, yeah. Tell Dan I'm working on it. I'll get him back on because I know he's gonna miss he's gonna miss it. He's gonna miss me so much. But I will get this figured out. I will have to. I think I have to go onto the and do it through the phone, which is what I'm doing the thing from right now. Because when I'm on the iPad, I just don't even see that, where you can go in and do that. It's weird how it's different, of how it's so different between the iPhone and the iPad. Different generations, I guess, it changes the format or something of what I can do. Because it's on here. Yeah, I'll figure it out later. Yeah, we'll get it worked on so we can get Liberdan back on here. Yeah, I just thought you like deleted a comment or something. I didn't know that you completely like blocked him or something. But I'll get it. I'll figure it out. What says Twitter's got nothing from Hal? That's very rare. Well, that's usually when he's not gonna go on. So he's probably busy. I think today was a funeral. I think today is a funeral, and then tomorrow I think he's gonna be with family. And like you said, he has another family member or a close friend of the family who's has some really is in the hospital. Has some, he says not looking too good as far as if he's going to make it or not. So I think he's just spending these 2 days with family and taking care of family. I'm pretty sure he's off. Not going to do a show today or tomorrow. So anyhow, with that, I'm going to go ahead and end it. Thank you, everyone who was here today. We had a great show. Started off really slow, but then we picked up a little bit. We got some people in here and got some interesting conversations going, and I had a good time. I might just do a short live at 3, maybe at 3. I might be out in the Tesla. Maybe I'll do a live remote from somewhere in Las Vegas. Maybe I'll do that. All right, guys. Thanks, Wes. Thanks, Jolie. Thanks, Benny Loco and Stephanie B2. Liberal Dan, I'm going to get you back on here. It's always great to have Liberal Dan in here. Who else did we have? We had 8, 9 people in here. So, all right, guys. Thanks a lot. I'll be talking to you later. Just look for me. Hit the notifications thing, and then you'll know when I'm on. Hey, Kenneth Otto. Good night. Hey, thanks for. Were you lurking that whole time? Thanks, KO. Thanks for being here. Love that you're in there, and best wishes to you over there and everything. Hope. Oh, you weren't lurking? Okay, you just got in at the very last second here. Alrighty. Well, like I said, I might come back on again at 3 for a little bit, and then maybe tomorrow I'll do some live streams on Friday in the morning and afternoon. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. I will see you later, and just hang in there, everybody. Hang in there.